I've got another class after this one.
Oh.
So I've got to do the class tonight. So if I do one now, it's good for me.
Okay.
How are you going to do it though with the Chinese again? What are we going to do?
Wait, because it's a lot of Chinese audience, so I will let Mataji speak, and then I will do it in the room.
Okay.
Guru Mani Mataji.
Yes.
Okay, Mataji, you can now. You can speak here.
Okay, thank you.
Are you okay? How many people have you got then?
Few, Guru Maharaj.
3.
Few, I think around 3 to 5.
Who are they? Who's listening?
Shaya Mataji is there, and her brother, her friend, and Durga, and Purnamasi Mataji.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, and can we share the screen?
Yes, Maharaj. Okay.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, welcome to everyone. We're reading Nectar of Devotion. Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chaksurunmritanyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay, we're reading the preface.
我们现在在阅读方案的甘露序言部分。
Bhakti means devotional service.
Bhakti 一词的意思是奉爱服务。
Every service has some attractive feature which drives the servitor progressively on and on.
每一种服务都有它吸引人的地方，使得履行奉爱服务的人能一直不断地做下去。
Every one of us within this world is perpetually engaged in some sort of service.
这个世界里的每一个人都在做着某种服务。
The impetus for such service is the pleasure we derive from it.
而驱使履行奉爱服务的动力，便是服务过程中得到的快乐。
Driven by affection for his wife and children, a family man works day and night.
成家的男人出于对妻子和儿女的爱，而夜以继日的工作。
A philanthropist works in the same way for love of the greater family.
慈善家出于对一个更大家庭的爱而劳碌。
And a nationalist will work for the cause of his country and countrymen.
爱国志士为了自己祖国和人民的利益而奔忙。
That force which drives the philanthropist, the nationalist, and the householder is called rasa, or a kind of mellow or relationship, whose taste is very sweet.
驱使慈善家、居士和爱国志士工作的内在动力被称为 ras， 品尝起来非常甜美的一种关系。
So this word rasa, this is a Sanskrit word, but it's very difficult to give it an exact meaning in another language.
rasa 这个词是一个梵文词， 很难用另外一种语言把它的确切含义表达出来。
So we use the Sanskrit word so that we can, but at the same time we want you to understand the meaning of the word rasa.
所以我们会继续使用这个 rasa 这个梵文词，同时我们也希望大家明白这个词的含义。
So Prabhupada is explaining to us that for every activity you have to get some pleasure from it, otherwise you won't keep doing it.
圣帕帕德解释说，在每一个活动，促使人们不断的去从事这种活动的动力，就是他们从中能得到快乐，否则他们就不会继续下去。
So
我有中文怎么选？我要进那个这个会是我选中文，英语会英语会。我就是在看。
Gurumani, you have to mute these people.
I don't know. I've never. How can I? Then how to mute them?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Sati Nishoba.
Yeah. Chanda Manaji, please give a co-host.
Archana, did you hear?
Archana Mataji, are you there?
Recording in progress.
对，Gurumani Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Archana, we want you to make somebody else a co-host.
Okay, Mataji, who are you?
Sati. Sati Devdasi.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I make you co-host.
Yeah.
Or I make you host.
Thank you.
And then you mute these other people so they don't disturb us.
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, Mataji, thank you. Okay.
So Prabhupada is explaining to us that there has to be some pleasure in every... There has to be some pleasure from every activity.
无论从事哪一种活动，从事这种活动的人必须要从中取得快乐。
And Prabhupada gives examples about the man in family life, that he's working very hard, but he gets pleasure from maintaining his wife and family.
圣帕帕德举了成家的男子的例子，他由于对妻子和儿女的爱而夜以继日的工作。
And he gives another example about the people who are nationalistic, that they love their country.
帕帕德也举了另外一个例子，是那些爱国志士、民族主义者，他们因为由于对祖国的爱而奔忙。
And then also he gives the example about the philanthropist who wants to help other people. They may not even be his own countrymen, but just people who he feels they need some help and he cares for them.
还有，他又举了另外一个例子，也就是那些慈善家们，他们帮助的人，不一定是他的国人，但是由于他觉得这些人需要帮助，他就帮助了这些人。
So this is the meaning of rasa, that people are doing some activity and they're getting some pleasure from it.
这就是 rasa 的含义。人们从事着活动，他们从这些活动当中获得快乐。
Rasa is that thing which forces us, which gets us to do this work for others.
Rasa 是指的那种动力，他们驱动我们，从事一个活动，从而从中取得快乐。
So now Prabhupada is going to explain about rasa in terms of devotional service.
接下来，帕帕德将要从奉爱服务的角度来解释 rasa。
So he explains that bhakti rasa is something which is different from the ordinary rasa of ordinary in the material world.
他解释说，bhakti rasa 与世俗活动者所享受的一般 rasa 不一样。
So now Prabhupada is going to explain the difference to us.
接下来 Prabhupada 将要解释这二者的区别。
He explains that ordinary materialistic people working hard every day and night, they get some kind of rasa.
他说，那些世俗的物质主义者，他们夜以继日的工作，想要获得某种 rasa。
But that rasa is a type of sense gratification.
而那种 rasa 呢，实际上是感官享乐。
And the taste, that the pleasure which they get from that rasa does not last very long.
他们从那种 rasa 当中得到的滋味不持久。
And therefore these kind of people, these ordinary materialistic people, they always want to change their position to enjoy in a different way. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, sorry, I'm so sorry. I was being muted. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So, you want to hear again?
I don't know.
Okay, I'll speak the sentence again. You listen.
Okay.
So, the people on the material platform, their happiness and the pleasure they get from their activities doesn't last very long.
这些物质主义者，他们的这种 rasa 的体验是不持久的。
And therefore they want to change their position, or change their enjoyment.
所以他们要改变，不断的变化自己的地位，来获取新鲜的快乐。
Sometimes we see, for example, even husband and wife, they divorce each other. They think, oh no, this husband or this wife is no good, we're going to divorce, and they take a new husband or a new wife.
有时候我们发现，就是夫妻之间呢，他们会离婚，他们就希望来找到一个新的伴侣。
So then Prabhupada, he talks about how,
884正在讲呢。
Prabhupada speaks about a businessman. He's working very hard the whole week.
帕帕德接着又指出，商人他们连续一周的工作，
But he's not satisfied working all week.
但是工作一周后就厌烦了。
So when it comes to the weekend, he wants a change.
他们便在周末想要换一种方式。
And he will go to a place where he can forget about his business life.
他们会找个地方，让他们把这些生意彻底的抛到脑后。
We see a lot of businessmen, they will work hard all week, and then when the weekend comes, they go off to the beach, to the seaside, or they go to the country.
我们会看到这种现象，那些辛辛苦苦工作了连续工作了好几天、一周的商人们，到了周末呢，就会去海滩或者去乡下。
We see in Bangkok, people work in Bangkok, and then when it comes to holiday, then they want to go home to their place in the countryside.
看到在曼谷的时候呢，在曼谷有一些那些商人，他们一到了周末呢，他们就会回老家。
And people in Hong Kong, working in Hong Kong, they will work in the city all week, but then the weekend they want to go to the mountain or they go to the beach.
而在香港这个地方呢，在城里的商人们，他们工作了1周之后，到周末他们就会去山上或者去海滩。
So on the weekend they will forget about all their business and just relax, and they think they're enjoying.
这样以这种方式呢，他们到周末的时候呢，就会忘记这些生意场上的事儿，他们会放松，他们就觉得这是一种享受了。
But then when the weekend's over, then he comes back to his business again.
可是周末一过去呢，他们又重新回到了生意场。
So this is the nature of material activities.
这就是物质活动的本性。
You take a position for some time, and then you want to change it.
一个人他们在一个地位上待一段时间之后呢，他们就想换一个地位。
So you change back and forth. This is, in Sanskrit, this is called Bhoga Tyaga.
这种变来变去的状态，梵文术语称之为 Bhoga Tyaga。
Bhoga means enjoyment.
Bhoga 的意思是享受、
sense gratification.
感官享乐。
And Tyaga is to renounce and to give up.
而 Tyaga 的意思是放弃、弃绝。
And so Bhoga Tyaga is where you change. One day you want to enjoy, and then after you enjoy for some time, then you want to give it all up.
Bhoga Tyaga 这个就是变来变去的，他们享受一段时间之后，然后就加以放弃。
So a living entity cannot remain either in sense enjoyment or in renunciation.
所以生物体他们是无法处在感官享乐当中，也无法稳定的处于弃绝状态。
The change is going on continually.
这种变化是恒常不断的持续进行着。
We're not happy enjoying, and we're not happy renouncing.
在这感官享乐的时候，我们并没有感到快乐，而当我们弃绝的时候，也同样不快乐。
And the reason why we cannot be happy is because we're not in our real, eternal, constitutional position.
我们之所以感到不快乐，原因就在于我们并没有处在自己构成性的地位上。
So the pleasure of the senses does not last for very long.
感官享乐不会持久。
So in Sanskrit, that is called chapala shuka. Chapala means flickering, and shuka means happiness.
这在梵文被称为 chapala sukha。chapala 的意思是无常的，而 sukha 的意思是快乐。
Just like a candle light flickers. Sometimes it's there, and sometimes it's affected by the wind. Sometimes it's there, and sometimes it's not. Then it comes back.
就像一个蜡烛的灯光，有的时候呢，蜡烛它点燃了，但有的时候它会容易受到风的影响，有的时候有火光，有的时候又没有，忽闪来闪去的，闪烁不定的。
The happiness of this kind of enjoyment is very temporary.
这类的享乐呢是非常短暂易逝的。
Prabhupada gives an example. He said, just like in family life, man works very hard day and night.
Prabhupada 举了一个例子，一个有家室的人日夜操劳。
We see some people, they work very hard. They have a job in the daytime, then they have another job in the night, and then they have another job on the weekend.
我们 们看到有的人，他们不仅仅白天工作，他们晚上也同样在找一份工作，甚至到了周末，他们也不休息，仍然还在工作，再找一份工作。
It's very difficult to earn enough money to satisfy all of our desires.
要想满足我们的每一个全部愿望，这是非常难的。
And here you see that in family life, the man is working, trying to give comfort to all the members of his family.
那一个有家室的人呢，日夜操劳，以便让家人过上舒适的生活。
He has to give money for the wife. She's asking money. She wants money for the house and to feed all the family.
他要把养家，然后把钱呢给自己的妻子，妻子拿钱来付房租，然后给全家人买菜。
And then the children, they need their education has to be paid for. They want to go to a nice school.
而孩子们呢，他们也需要受到良好的教育，也需要去上学。
And nowadays we see children, they all want to have a mobile phone, or they want to have a kind of computer to play with.
而在当今年代呢，这些小孩子们从小他们就要手机，还需要电脑。
And the young girl, when she grows up, the father has to arrange marriage for her.
而女儿呢，长大成人之后就要出嫁。
That all costs money to arrange the wedding for his daughter.
这个婚礼呢，婚礼也是一笔不小的开销。
So there's a lot of pressure involved in serving the family members.
所以呢，要满足家人，要让家人感到舒适，这也不是一件容易的事情。
So he's working very hard, and he enjoys a kind of pleasure from this.
所以这个有家室的人呢，日夜操劳，也由此感到某种快乐和满足。
But all of his happiness will end with the body. As soon as the life is over, his happiness is finished.
然而，生命结束时，所有物质快乐也随着躯体即刻烟消云散。
So for the atheistic people, God comes in the form of death.
因此，对无神论者来说，死亡就是神的代表。
Because death comes and takes away everything from us.
因为死亡降临的时候呢，就把一切从我们这里都拿走了。
Whatever we work hard to earn in this life, we have to leave it here. We cannot take it with us.
无论我们辛辛苦苦工作赚了些什么我们都得撒手，我们都不能带走。
You may have a nice car, you may have a nice house, you work very hard to pay for them, but when you die, you cannot take them with you.
你可能有一辆豪车、豪宅，你努力的来维系它们，可是死亡的时候你可带不走。
So those people who don't believe in God, they see God in the form of death. Death is all-powerful.
那些不信神的人们，他们会在死亡的时候，他们以死亡的形式见到神，然后死亡是全能的。
But the devotee, they see God by devotional service.
而奉献者们是通过奉爱服务来看见神。
Very different from the atheists.
这与无神论者是截然相反的。
Yeah. When death comes, then we have to begin a new life. We change our situation. It's like a new chapter in our life.
当死亡降临的时候，我们必须要变成一个崭新的生活，我们必须要改变自己的处境，这好像就是翻开了一个新的篇章。
We may take a birth in a higher form of life or in a better condition than we're in, or it may be in a lower condition.
我们可能有一个更好的生活，一个更高等的状况，但也可能会去到低等的状况。
On the higher level, you know, there's life on the higher planets. We can take birth in the heavenly planets and be a demigod and live for a long time.
在更高等的状态下，我们可能会在高等的星宿上投生为半神人，过上更高级的生活。
And on the lower form of life, you can take birth in the lower planets, in the hellish planets, or we may take birth in the lower species of life, like an animal or a tree.
而在低等的生命形式下呢，我们可能会去到低等的星宿，也可能会投生在地狱，或者是投生在低等的物种，比如说动物、植物。
So we have to understand that in every kind of activity, the results of our actions will be finished with the end of life.
我们要明白，在死亡来临的时候，我们的每一个活动以及活动的反应也都画上了句号。
It doesn't matter if you're a social worker, or you may be working for your country, or you may be working for the whole world. It doesn't matter. But when death comes, then all your work is finished.
无论你是一个社群主义者，为社会工作，还是为国家工作，甚至为全世界工作，这个情况都无所谓。当死亡来临的时候，这一切工作也都停止了。
And we all know everyone has to die.
众所周知，所有的人都将死去，
No one can get free of death.
没有人能摆脱死亡。
But if we understand the science of devotion, then we won't have to take birth again.
但是如果我们知悉通晓奉爱的科学，那么就能避免死亡。
We won't have to take birth in the material world anyway.
无论如何，我们将不在物质世界再次投生了。
Prabhupada wants us to understand the nature of this bhakti rasa.
Prabhupada 希望我们能够领悟这个 Bhakti Rasa 的本性。
And this is the pleasure which we get from engaging in, when we do devotional service for the Supreme Lord.
我们在为至尊主做奉爱服务的时候所获得的快乐，也就是这个 Bhakti Rasa。
This is a special kind of activity because this kind of activity doesn't finish with the end of life. It's eternal.
这是一种特殊的活动，因为它不会随着生命的终结而结束，它是永恒的。
Yeah, it continues forever. So it in Sanskrit is called amrita, meaning it doesn't die.
它会一直持续下去。在梵文当中，它被称之为 Amrita， 意思是它不会死亡。
It exists eternally, and that's stated in all the Vedic scriptures.
它会一直存在下去，所有的伟大文献都证实了这一点。
To give an example, in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that if we make a little advancement in bhakti rasa, then it will save us from the greatest danger.
有一个例子，主 Krishna 在《博家梵歌》中说， 来工作，我们都取得了一种桑嘎。
But it doesn't matter what kind of feeling, what kind of mood you have, or what philosophy you have. But our next life, it doesn't mean that in our next life we will be a human being. There's no guarantee where we will take our next birth.
无论是我们是以哪一种心态，或者哪一种情感，或者是以哪一门哲学来工作，那来世我们并不一定会获得一具人类的躯体。
Our next life will be determined by the activities we do in this life.
我们这一世的所作所为，决定了我们的来世。
And we get a body as a result of our activities in this life.
生物在躯体这个现有躯体当中所从事的活动，决定它来世将获得什么样的躯体。
We should understand that within the world there is higher authorities.
我们应当明白，在世上有更高的权威。
Just like in a country, we know there's higher authorities. The government is the highest authority.
正如在一个国家当中，最高的权威就是政府。
So there's also a universal authority.
同理，也有一个宇宙的权威。
And that authority works under the direction of the Supreme Lord.
而那个权威是在至尊主的指导之下在运作着。
And this is all explained to us in the Bhagavad Gita.
这一切都在薄伽梵歌当中有所解释。
And also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we learn that there's the higher authority, the government of God.
而且圣典薄伽瓦坛当中也说到，有一个高级的权威，也有神的存在。
And everyone takes the next body under the direction of that authority of the Supreme.
每一个生物都在这个至尊者的权威之下获得他的来世。
So the body which we have today is not by chance, but it's due to our past activities.
我们今天所获得的这个躯体，并不是偶然获得的，而是由于我们过往的活动导致我们拥有现在这一具躯体。
The activities we did in our last life are the cause of that's seen in the body we have now.
我们前一世的所作所为，就在我们现世的躯体当中反映了出来。
So this supervision of the universal government, they decide what kind of body we're going to take in the future.
所以这个宇宙的政府，他们就决定我们来世将获得哪样的躯体。
Sometimes we would simply call this as destiny, or even you might say our karma.
有的时候我们称之为命运，或者称之为 karma。
And we get the body which is given to us is selected from all the 8,400,000 different forms of bodies, different kinds of living entities which are in the universe.
我们得到的这个躯体是840万种躯体当中的其中一种。
But we didn't get to choose which body we want.
但是我们得到哪种躯体根本不由我们来选择。
Just like in the material world, you may want a job, but you don't just get to pick the job you want. You have to be qualified for it. The people who are running the company, they will decide if you're suitable, if they want you for that job. You cannot just say, I'm going to do this job. You have to be qualified.
就好像我们去应聘，我们必须得有资格。这个公司它有权利来决定我们是不是 可以获得这份工作。
So it's not up to us to decide, but it's given to us according to our destiny. What is our qualification by our past activities?
所以这并不是由我们来决定的，而是我们的命运给予我们的，是根据我们过往的活动，根据我们的资格给予我们的。
So if at this time, if we are engaged in the activities of Krishna consciousness, then we are guaranteed that in the next life we will get at least a human body.
如果我们现在充分利用我们的躯体从事 Krishna 知觉的活动，就能保证来世至少还能获得人的躯体。
If we didn't get a human body, then we may have to take one of the bodies in the lower species of life to become an animal or a plant or a tree.
如果得不到人类的躯体，有可能是投生为低等的物种，比如说动物或者植物，比如树木。
So if somebody is if he's engaged in Krishna consciousness, he may not be able to finish everything and become perfect in this life.
某人他修习 Krishna 知觉，也许他并没有达到完美，完成他的工作。
But in his next life, he will take birth in the higher sections of human society.
也许他在来世诞生于社会阶层较高的家庭中。
And there it will be very easy for him to advance in Krishna consciousness.
在这种处境下，他会比较容易的继续取得进步。
Just like if somebody is born in a family which is vegetarian, then it's so much easier for people to be vegetarian.
就好像是一个人诞生在吃素者的家庭、素食者的家庭，那么他就很容易就生下来就吃素了。
Or if somebody's born in a family of devotees, then it's very easy for him to become Krishna conscious.
或者是他诞生在奉献者的家庭当中，那么他培养 Krishna 知觉就容易的多了。
We see some young children that they can play the mridanga, they can play the harmonium, they can lead kirtan, and some can even give lectures.
我们看到有一些小孩子年纪很轻轻的就会打米当家鼓或者哈莫尼琴或者领唱 kirtan， 甚至有的小孩子就能讲课了。
So all the activities which we do in Krishna consciousness are permanent, or if you like, you could say eternal.
所以我们在 Krishna 知觉当中从事的活动都是永恒的活动。
When we actually work in bhakti rasa, then it's understood that the person is serious about studying bhakti yoga.
当我们是在 bhakti rasa 的之中来从事风爱福的时候呢，就可以认定这一个人是认真的，他对于 bhakti 是非常认真的。
If somebody is doing bhakti yoga, if he's engaged in the bhakti rasa or Krishna consciousness, then it will make his life auspicious. There will be no anxieties.
倘若一个人他在 bhakti rasa 当中呢，为至尊主从事风爱福，他就会过上吉祥的生活，不再有各种烦恼。
He won't be worried about the material problems of life.
他不用担心生活当中的各种各样的物质问题。
And he won't even be worried about liberation.
他甚至都不用去担心解脱这件事儿。
but he will be blessed with transcendental existence. His life will be on the transcendental platform.
他会得到祝福，他的生命是处在超然的层面上。
And we should understand that by doing bhakti rasa, meaning working in Krishna consciousness, he will already feel liberated. He doesn't have to worry about trying to be liberated. He will already feel that like he's liberated.
而且呢，如果一个人他是在Bhakti Rasa 当中呢从事活动，那么他甚至都能够体验到已经有解脱了。
And even greater than liberation, when one works in Krishna consciousness, he can feel the attention of the Supreme Lord Krishna.
甚至比解脱更高的体验，就是一个人可以感受到他得到了 Krishna 的关注。
He can feel that Krishna is taking care and making arrangements to help him to advance.
他能感受到 Krishna 在照顾他，在安排他取得进步。
So we see often the neophyte devotee is very eager. He wants to see Krishna or God.
初习者一般都渴望能看到 Krishna， 看到神。
But we should understand that God cannot be seen by our ordinary material senses.
但是我们应该明白 ，Krishna 神不能靠我们普通的物质感官能看到。
But if we do devotional service, just as it's explained in this book, the Nectar of Devotion, then we will gradually get elevated from material life.
我们若是按照《奉爱的甘露》这本书所介绍的奉爱服务的程序去做的话，那么就将逐步从物质生命状态当中得到提升。
We will come out of the material life and we will come to the spiritual platform. We will become purified of all of our material designations.
我们会走出物质生命状态，来到灵性生命状态中，得到净化，不再与物质身份认同。
Material designations are the different ways in which we identify with the material world and the material body.
物质的身份是一个人，他与物质世界认同，与自己的物质躯体认同。
We think I'm a Chinese, or I'm an Indian, or I'm an American. We're thinking I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm young, I am old.
我们会认同于我是中国人，我是印度人，我是美国人，我是男人，我是女人，我是老人，我是年轻人。
Well, these are all different designations of the body and the mind.
这些都是躯体的头衔以及心意的头衔。
So our mind and senses are contaminated to think in this way. This is called conditioned life.
我们的心意就会受到污染，这样去思考，这就被称之为污染的状态。
If we are doing bhakti rasa, then we will be our senses and mind will become purified.
但是如果我们从事 bhakti rasa， 我们的感官，我们的心意就会得到净化。
We use our mind and senses in the service of the Supreme Lord. We will be situated in the bhakti rasa life.
当我们用纯粹的感官、纯粹的心意来从事为至尊主做服务的时候，就稳处于 bhakti rasa 生活中。
Any activities which we do for the pleasure of Krishna, this is bhakti rasa.
无论我们为 Krishna 取悦 Krishna 做什么，这都被称之为 bhakti rasa。
And we can feel the pleasure of these activities eternally.
而且我们能够永恒的感受到快乐。
And that pleasure will go on increasing more and more.
而且这种快乐会源源不断的增加。
Just like when we chant the holy name, that in the beginning we don't feel much pleasure, but if we keep chanting, the pleasure becomes more and more.
就好像是唱诵 Hare Krishna， 一开始的时候是感觉不到那么多快乐，但是随着不断的念诵，我们的快乐就会不断的增加。
When we start to read the books about Krishna, that in the beginning we may find them a little difficult, but if we keep reading, gradually we will feel more and more pleasure in reading these books.
当我们阅读 Krishna 知觉的书籍的时候，一开始就觉得有点晦涩难懂，但随着不断的去阅读的话，我们就会觉得越来越喜欢去阅读。
Sometimes we find things like cooking and cleaning to be, so much trouble to do all of it. But when we understand that we're doing it for Krishna, then it becomes a pleasure.
甚至是在厨房做饭以及清洁厨房、打扫卫生，我们一开始会觉得太麻烦了，但是随着我们不断的深入，我们会认为这是为了 Krishna 的快乐去做这件事情。
So when we're doing this kind of services, working for Krishna, all these different rasas, they all become eternal.
当我们为 Krishna 所从事这样的服务、这样活动的时候，他们最后都变成了永恒的。
In the beginning, we have to be trained according to the principles and regulations given by the acharyas.
一开始，我们必须是按照规范原则，在 Acharya 的指导之下接受培训。
And as we go on following these principles, gradually we become elevated to a more spontaneous and automatic platform.
当我们这样逐渐提升，不断的遵守规范原则，我们就会变得自发的愿意去从事这些活动。
We become naturally eager to want to do these activities for Krishna.
我们就会发自内心的渴望为 Krishna 从事奉爱服务。
We have experience in Krishna consciousness, like waking up in the morning, that in the beginning we were not accustomed to wake up very early in the morning.
我们在 Krishna 知觉当中呢，我们都有这种体验。一开始我们早起是有困难的，但逐渐的就变得习惯了早起了。
But gradually, in the beginning we'd have a clock to wake us up, so we could wake up early and do our devotional activities.
一开始我们必须要上闹钟，然后才能起来做奉爱服务的活动。
But after some time, we don't need the clock. We wake up even without the clock.
但是过了段时间之后呢，没有闹钟，我们也能自动醒来了。
And so this is how our devotion naturally develops.
所以我们的奉爱就是这样自然而然的培养起来的。
So Srila Prabhupada explains that in this book, there's going to be 12 different kinds of rasa to be explained.
施乐 Prabhupada 解释说，本书将为大家讲解12种 rasa。
And there will be, of these 12, 5 are primary rasas.
其中有5种是主要的 rasa。
Yeah, these 5 rasas that we live eternally in full knowledge and bliss with Krishna.
我们在这5种 rasa 当中，永恒的、充满极乐的跟 Krishna 生活在一起。
The basic principle of life is that everyone has the tendency to love someone.
生存的一项基本原则就是每一个人、每一个生物都有爱他人的倾向。
Nobody can live without loving someone else.
没有人能谁都不爱的活着。
And this tendency, this is there in every living being.
这种爱的倾向存在于每一个生物身上。
Even an animal like a tiger, they have that tendency to want to love.
即使像老虎这种动物也有爱的倾向。
At least it's there in them. Maybe when they have offspring, they will have cubs, and so they will take care of them.
比如说老虎，它有了幼崽的时候，它就会照顾虎崽。
And it's certainly there in human beings.
人类无疑就更有爱心了。
We see if a man or the woman don't love another person, then they will love some animal, like a dog or a horse.
我们看到呢，如果一个人他没有谁可爱的话，他就会去爱动物，甚至爱一匹马。
And some people, their love is there. They love their garden. They love their plants and flowers.
有的人呢，就把他爱的倾向倾注在花园，或者是他的植物，或者是他的鲜花。
And some people love their trees in the forest. They will enjoy with the trees.
有的人喜欢树木，他们会热爱森林当中的树木。
So everyone has that tendency to want to love someone or something, so that they can become happy.
每一个生物都有这种爱的倾向，这样呢，他们就能从中得到快乐。
So we have to understand where should we give our love so we can actually find happiness.
那么到底爱谁才能使人人都感到快乐呢？
We see it in the material world. We're taught we should love our country, we should love our family, we should love ourselves.
那么在物质世界，我们受到的教育是爱祖国、爱家庭，或者是爱自己。
But nobody is taught where to give their love so that they can become really happy.
但是没有人被告知应该把这种爱倾注在谁的身上，以便获得真正的快乐。
The missing point, the point which everybody has missed, is the power to love Krishna.
这种被忽视的爱的对象，就是去爱主 Krishna。
So this book, The Nectar of Devotion, is going to teach us how to develop our love for Krishna.
因此，奉爱的甘露教导我们如何唤醒自己对 Krishna 原本的爱。
And in that, when we develop love for Krishna, then we will enjoy blissful eternal life.
当我们唤醒了这种潜伏的爱，就能处在极乐的生活境界。
Just like when you have a child, the young child will love his mother and father, and then he will love his brothers and sisters.
就好像一个小孩子，他就会爱他的父母，然后爱兄弟姐妹。
And then as he grows up, he begins to love his family and the society and the country.
随着孩子长大成人，他逐渐的就会爱家庭、爱社会。
And he may even go on to love the whole human society.
以至于他会热爱全人类。
But actually, he's still not satisfied by loving even all the people.
但是，即便他热爱所有的人，他的爱的倾向也不会得到彻底的满足。
His ability to love is not fully satisfied.
他的爱的能力 也没有得到彻底的实现。
He has to know, he has to understand that there's someone who is the supreme person to love.
他必须要去知道、去明白，谁是至高无上的爱的对象。
And that ability to love can only be satisfied when we give our love to the supreme person, Krishna.
这种爱的能力只有在倾注在至尊者 Krishna 身上之后，这种爱的能力才得以全部的实现。
So this book, Nectar of Devotion, is going to teach us how to love Krishna in 5 different transcendental mellows.
这本书《奉爱的甘露》就教导我们如何通过5种超然的奉爱甜美的关系去爱 Krishna。
Our ability to love expands, just like a vibration of light expands. It comes from one point and it spreads everywhere.
我们爱的这种能力就好像这个阳光从一个光源那里源源不断的向外扩散。
And similarly, air also expands.
同样，空气它也是不断的在扩张着。
But we don't know where the light ends or where the air ends.
但是我们并不知道这个阳光会在哪里结束，或者是空气它扩张到哪里才结束。
So this book, Nectar of Devotion, is going to teach us how to love every living entity perfectly.
所以这本书《奉爱的甘露》就教导我们该如何完美的爱别的生物。
And we can do it perfectly by simply loving Krishna.
我们可以通过简单的去爱 Krishna 来实现它。
We can see we have failed to create peace and harmony in the world.
我们可以看到我们在人类社会中制造和睦的这种企图失败了。
Even though we have created things like the United Nations, still there's no peace and harmony.
即便我们已经建立了联合国，但是全球仍然是没有和平。
So that was not the right method. Creating United Nations, that's not a successful method.
成立联合国并不是一个成功的方法。
But Krishna consciousness is a very simple method, but you have to understand it with the proper mood, the proper intelligence.
但是 Krishna 知觉的方法却是简单易行的，但是需要一种恰当的心态去理解。
We have to learn how to perform the simple method of loving Krishna.
我们需要去学习，去热爱 Krishna 这个简单的方法。
And then by loving Krishna, then it's very easy to immediately to love every living being.
我们一旦学会爱 Krishna， 就会很容易立即爱所有的生命。
Just like if you pour water on the root of a tree.
就好像把水浇在树根，
Or you may supply food to the stomach.
或者是把食物送进胃里。
So when you pour water on the root of a tree or supply food to the stomach, it's scientific and practical that every one of us, we experience the result.
把水浇在树根，以及把食物送进胃里，是绝对科学而又行之有效的做法。
We
人
know,
人对此都有体验。
we know when we eat something, then the food goes in the stomach and the energy is distributed to all the parts of the body.
众所周知，把食物送进胃里后所产生的能量，会立即送到身体的各个部位。
Or when we pour water on the root of the tree, that water nourishes all the leaves and branches in the tree.
把水浇到树根， 那么这个能量，树木得到能量也立刻传遍整棵大树。
It's not possible to water just a part of the tree.
那么仅仅给树的一部分浇水，这是行不通的。
And it's not possible to feed just one part of the body.
给身体的一个部分喂食也行不通。
But by the one switch, then just like you turn on one switch, the light comes on, the light spreads everywhere.
就好像我们按一下开关，那么这个电灯就点燃了，照亮了整个房间。
So this knowledge about devotional service will immediately bring light into everyone, everywhere.
那么这门奉爱服务的科学将会点燃每一个地方每一个人。
But if you don't know this, then you're missing the whole purpose of life.
但是如果不明白这个方法，那么就会错失对人生意义的理解。
Okay, we'll stop here.
好，那我们就讲到这里。
We want to ask, is there any questions?
请大家有什么问题吗？
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
ต้องเป็น original ใช่ไหม Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj, Dhanavad Pranam, please accept my humble obeisances. Okari to Sri Prabhupada. Can you hear me, Guru Maharaj?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay. My question is, if people who is not devotee but do some we approach the people during Harinam Sankirtan to donation, something like that. It seems like they do some devotional service a little bit. And my question is, will they get the good karma or rasa? And it will be amrita or not?
Okay.
Can you understand me?
Yeah.
这很大姐的问题就是说，当我们去做哈瑞纳姆森克坦在街头派书的时候呢，我们会请求人们给一些布施。那么看上去呢，给予布施的那个人他做了一点点奉爱服务，那么他会得到好的 karma， 好的业报，或者是好的 ras， 就是一种 rasa。这个是不是也是 amrita 永恒的呢？
Yes, the benefit is eternal.
是的，这个好处是永恒的。
And they will get the opportunity to do devotional service again.
他们会得到就是再次从事奉爱服务的机会。
And the advancement they made by giving something for Krishna will never be lost.
他们给 Krishna 一些布施，然后从中得到的这个好处进步是永远不会失去的。
When they do a little service, even they make 1% advancement, then in the next life they will begin from 1%.
他们即便是得到1%的进步，那么下一世呢，他们会继续向前。
So yes, devotion, the benefit of devotional activities is eternal.
所以奉爱服务得到的好处是永恒的好处。
But we could say that, they didn't really have any understanding. They didn't know what they were doing when they gave donation.
但是我们也可以说，他们呢在给予布施的时候呢，他们并没有理解力，并不知道他们在做了些什么。
But they will go on in the future. They get this is called agyata sukriti. they will get the opportunity to have more association with devotees and to again do more devotional service.
但是他们将来会继续，这被称之为 Agyata Sukriti， 将来他们会有机会继续和奉献者联谊，从事更多的奉爱服务。
Just like somebody buys a book, then you may go to him again to buy another book after some time.
就好比一个人他买了一本书，那么将来呢，你可以再去找他，请他去买更多的书。
And after some time, he buys many books, and then he starts to think, I should read these books. I bought so many books, I should read them.
过了一段时间呢，这个人想，我买了这么多书，那至少我应该读一读。
Or he may think that I bought these books, I should go and see what they're doing, I should go to temple.
或者呢，他可能这么想，我买了这些书，我应该去庙里亲眼看一看他们的实际行动。
And because he bought a book, then after some time, a devotee may think, I should give him some prasadam.
或者是这个人买了书之后呢，奉献者就想，我应该给他送一点 prasada 寄予。
Devotees used to distribute books in New York City in a place called the Port Authority Bus Terminal. It's a big bus station, and buses going all over America.
在纽约呢，奉献者们他们常常去一个就是汽车总站，去那里派书。
And so there was also a subway in the bottom, an underground train station in the bottom of the bus station.
就在这个特别大的交通枢纽中心的下面呢，是地铁站。
And so many people used to come through there every day. Some people would come through every day, go to work, go home at night, and they'd come through there.
许多人呢，他们就会乘坐这个交通工具，去上班，然后到夜里呢，然后通过这个这个枢纽回家。
So we used to go there to distribute books to people.
我们常常去这个地方交通枢纽派书。
And when we met somebody who's really nice and they like the devotees, they're friendly, then we would give them some prasadam.
当我们遇到一个就是对奉献者特别态度友好的人呢，我们就会给他送上 prasada。
And sometimes the people would come and they'd come and say, "Have you got any prasadam today?"
还我们看到有的人他们会主动过来跟我们问我们，你们今天带没带 prasada 呢？
In this way, gradually, you can see people that they become more and more devoted.
那我们就会看到，逐渐的人们就这些人呢，他们就越来越变得像奉献者了。
So devotional service is like that. It's eternal benefit. It may happen in this life, it may not happen until the next life, but they never lose the benefit. It's always there.
所以奉献服务就是这样子的，它的好处是永恒的，它无论是这一世呢，不是在这一世显现出来，或者就在来世显现出来，那么它是不会失去的，是永远都在那里。
Hare Krishna.
Guru Maharaj, I need to ask more a little bit about like devotional service. Like we do some donation in devotional service, and is how different to donation in Buddhism, Guru Maharaj. And my question is, if the people donation in Buddhism is not eternal, right?
Yes. It's different.
Okay.
Because in Buddhism, yes, in Buddhism they may also give donation, they give charity, but they do it for a material purpose. You see, they're not doing it for Krishna.
Okay.
They're not doing it for the benefit of the Supreme Lord. They're just doing it for a material, just to help somebody materially. They don't think about somebody's spiritual position.
Okay, thank you for your explanation. Nowadays, I try to like invite the people to donation or do some devotional service activity, something like that. Even my friend. Thank you, Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, it's good. Try to.
这个马来吉他问，就是佛教的布施和我们Krishna知觉的布施有什么区别？这个就是回答是，佛教的布施呢，它是为了求取物质的好处，它不是为了Krishna，它并不是为了至尊主的好处来做这种布施，是帮助他们在物质上取得进步，他们并没有考虑人的灵性的地位。这马大吉他说他，因为他现在呢，他在邀请人们来做布施，从事一些封建服务，甚至邀请他的朋友们做一些布施。
Yes, there's different kinds of charity described in the Bhagavad Gita.
佛教梵歌当中讲了有不同种类的布施。
So you give charity, you may give charity maybe in the mode of goodness. Like in Buddhism, it may be in the mode of goodness, but it's material. It's going to bring some material result.
有善良形态当中的布施，比如说佛教他们是善良形态的布施，但是这是物质的，他们会得到物质的好处。
So they will enjoy the good karma.
他们会享受自己的那个好的业报。
But a devotee is giving charity, is giving it for the service of Krishna.
而奉献者们是为了 Krishna 来布施。
Actually, devotee understands everything belongs to Krishna. Nothing is mine, it's all Krishna's.
奉献者们他们明白，实际上一切是属于 Krishna 的，没有什么是属于我的。
I just want to give it back to Krishna, it's all his.
我只是把它还给 Krishna 而已，但是因为本来它就是属于 Krishna 的。
Hare Krishna.
Here is a Chinese question.
Okay.
这是连未必。Hare Krishna，顶拜 Gurudeva。请问奉爱的甘露所说的 rasa 和人们常说的爱众生有什么不同？爱 Krishna 和爱众生的 rasa 的区别？感恩 Gurudeva。What's the difference? Hare Krishna obeisance Gurudev. The rasa mentioned in the Nectar of Devotion, what's the difference between this and commonly usually people mention that we should love all living entity. So what's the difference between love Krishna and love the rasa of love Krishna and love all living entity?
Well, the difference is that how many living entities can you love? How many living entities are you connected with, and how many can you actually show love to?
这个关键就在于你到底能爱多少生物，您能和多少生物取得连接？那么您能向多少生物展示爱呢？
Can you honestly say that you can connect with all the living entities and show them love?
你能诚实的，就是说，你能诚实的说，你和所有的生物都有连接，并且能够展示爱给所有的生物吗？
Not possible. Just
不可能。
Just like some people may say, I am the servant of everyone.
就像有人嘴上说我是所有人的仆人。
Really? How many people can you serve?
真的吗？你能服务多少人呢？
How many people is it possible to serve? Our service is limited.
我们的服务是有限的，
Because you're giving it to material, to a limited bit. You say you want to love everyone or you want to serve everyone, but you're not connected to everyone. You don't know everyone. You haven't got relationships with everyone.
那么我们说是要爱每个生物，但是你跟这些生物并没有连接，你也不认识这些生物，你跟这些生物没有什么关系。
But Krishna is there. Krishna as a person is in the heart of all living entities.
但是 Krishna 在那里 ，Krishna 他作为一个人，他在所有生物的内心。
And we can show our love for Krishna.
我们可以向 Krishna 展示我们的爱。
And by loving Krishna, then you can satisfy all living entities.
通过爱 Krishna， 你就可以满足所有的众生。
But if you try to love everyone without connecting to Krishna, you can't do it.
但是如果在没有跟 Krishna 有连接的状态下，你去试图满足每一个生物，那是不可能的。
You don't have a connection to everyone and everything.
因为你并不能跟每一个生物和万事万物有一个连接。
But you can have a connection to Krishna, and Krishna can connect to all living entities.
但是你可以跟 Krishna 有个连接，而 Krishna 和所有众生是有连接的。
It's an important point to understand.
所以这一点是非常重要的，需要去理解。
Yes, you have asked a very nice question. It's a very good point to bring up.
您这个问题问得特别好。
Try to understand the difference, how by serving Krishna we can actually satisfy everyone.
所以你要努力去明白这个区别。通过服务了 Krishna， 我们就可以满足所有的众生了。
We gave the example about watering the plant. We pour the water on the root, and that by giving the water to the root, all the leaves and branches are satisfied.
我们举一个例子，就好像给一个植物浇水。倘若我们给这个根部浇水的话，那么枝枝叶叶都得到了滋养。
Can we just water each leaf independently of the root? Could you water each of the branches without watering the root?
你能不能不给树根浇水，只是给每一片叶子浇水，而且不给树根浇水，给每一个枝干浇水呢？
Or can you feed the arm and then feed the leg and then feed the chest and feed the head? Can you feed the different parts of the body independently of the stomach?
你能不能就是独立于胃部，单独的给胳膊，就是臂膀食物，单独的给这个腿部食物，单独的给这个胸部食物，单独的给这个头食物呢？
So you have to understand that Krishna is the root of the whole creation of all living entities.
所以您要去明白 ，Krishna 是所有创造的根源，它是所有众生的根源。
And Krishna is the stomach, like the stomach of the universal body.
Krishna 就好像宇宙躯体的胃部。
We are all parts of the universal body, but Krishna is the stomach.
我们都是这个宇宙身体的一个部分，而 Krishna 它就是胃部。
And he's distributing the energy to everyone.
他把这能量派发、散布到每一个地方、每一个生物。
Okay. Any other question there?
Yes, Janaka Prabhu. Hare Krishna，顶拜 Gurudev 的莲花组，顶拜奉戒者，请问 Gurudev，当人处在 Bhakti Rasa 中，是不是还是会受其他 Rasa 的影响呢？因为生活在这个物质世界，生活在某个国家，没有办法不受影响。就像乌克兰和俄罗斯的奉献者都深入战争的影响，怎么办呢？ Janaka Prabhu asked that the Gurudev, when people are situated in Bhakti Rasa, is that still we will be influenced by the other rasa? Because we are living in this material world and we are living in a certain country, we have no means to be become uninfluenced, just like Ukraine and Russia, the devotees in those two countries, Ukraine and Russia, they are all influenced by the war. So what to do?
Well, this is the result of forgetting Krishna, because we forget our rasa with Krishna, so therefore these problems come about.
这是由于我们忘记了 Krishna， 忘记了我们跟 Krishna 的 rasa， 所以才会发生这些事情。
Yeah. The war is about, one man is thinking, I'm a Russian, the other man is thinking, I'm a Ukrainian. And they're fighting with each other.
这战争的打起来，就是因为一个人认为我是俄罗斯人，另一个人认为我是乌克兰人，所以他们就争斗起来了。
Actually, they're brothers. They're from the same family, but they're fighting with each other.
实际上他们是兄弟，他们都出自同一个家庭，但他们现在却在彼此斗争。
It is caused by their forgetfulness of their eternal relationship with Krishna.
这是由于他们忘记了他们与 Krishna 之间的永恒的关系。
All right. Any other question?
Sati.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, please. You first.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna Gurudev, please accept humble obeisances. All girls to Srila Prabhupada, you Gurudeva and the devotees of Lord. Gurudev, I want to ask regarding charity. Should a person give charity who's not a devotee, just being asked to give a charity, say a donation to progress in Krishna consciousness for helping to move forward, and for them all the gods are equal. I mean, that's their mentality. But so should it be counted in Shuddha Sattva? I mean, you know, or just a good karma? What will it be looked at as?
这个玛吉的问题是，就是在泰国他们都是多神论，然后有时候他们也会请求找我们来寻求布施。那么，给这样的非奉献者布施，他是会有什么样的后果呢？
Yes, if we give money to people who are not devotees, then that's charity in the mode of ignorance, maybe. Because the people who are not devotees, you have to consider, first of all, you have to consider what is the motivation in giving charity. Why are they giving money to somebody? Are they doing it to get their own name and fame, to be known as a charitable person?
Oh, Gurudev, what I was asking...
Wait! Nidansha. Let her translate.
Yeah, sorry.
Are they donate or being donated?
Are they giving donations? What is the motivation for them giving charity?
OK， 那么可能翻译错了，一开始就是这些人他们是给予布施， 如果是sorry，就是非奉献者，给非奉献者布施，那么它是愚昧形态的布施。我们还要看那个他的动机是什么。
Somebody who's not a devotee, you don't know, they may be in the mode of ignorance, but they may also be more in the mode of goodness. We cannot say they're all in the mode of ignorance. That's maybe not correct.
一个非奉献者，他有可能是处于愚昧形态的，也有可能更处在善良形态当中，所以就不能一概而论，就是给人家盖棺定论，他就是一定是愚昧形态的。
But they must be on the material platform.
但是他们一定是处在物质的层面。
Because they're not devotees, they cannot transcend the material energy.
因为他们是非奉献者，所以他们肯定是不能超越物质自然属性的。
Thank you, Gurudev. Gurudev, what I was actually asking is should they give a donation to ISKCON, for example? Would it be looked at as in Shuddha Sattva and Lord Krishna's accounts, or just good karma? Just good karma. Simple.
就是他的问题是，就是物质主义者他们给 ISKCON 布施，那么呢，我们可以说他是处在 Suddha Sattva 纯粹的善良形态当中，还是只是有一个很好的业报呢？
Generally, we would just consider it as sukriti, material pious activity. But that material pious activity can be an impetus, it can lead one to devotional service.
但是我们可以称之为 sukriti 物质的虔诚活动，但是这种物质的虔诚活动呢，很有可能会导致一个人呢去从事奉爱服务。
Yeah, they did it and they gave charity without knowing that it's going for a spiritual purpose or without understanding any spiritual benefit.
他们在不知情的情况下呢，给一个灵性的目标做了布施，然后会导致一个灵性的好处。
What if they do have the understanding, Gurudev? They do understand and they appreciate it, and then if they give it as a charity?
如果他们就是也明白，他们也理解，然后他们在这种情况下做了布施呢？
Well, if they know, then we can consider it's actually devotional service.
如果他们确实是知情的，那么可以就认为是属于奉爱服务了。
But it may not be pure devotional service.
但不是纯粹的奉爱服务。
We don't know. It may be, it may not.
所以我们也不知道，也许是，也许不是。
You have to consider, why are they giving the donation? Are they giving just simply because of you, because you're their relative?
那你得考虑他为什么要布施呢？是不是冲着你，因为你是亲戚，他们就布施呢？
So that's not pure devotion.
所以那就不是纯粹的奉爱服了。
But there's some mixed devotion there.
但是属于混杂的奉爱。
Because they know you're a devotee and they think, well, anyway, it's for her temple. So there's some tinge of devotion there.
他们会知道，你是奉献者，然后就给你的那个庙做一些捐款，所以里面就是有一些奉爱的色彩。
So it's more like karma yoga.
更接近于 karma yoga 业余家。
Actually, Gurudev, my students were asking me on Zoom on Sunday, and I told them that if it's purely given to, favorably serve the Lord, then it could be considered as Shuddha Sattva, but that is if it's purely given for serving the Lord, knowing that He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And otherwise, it's just good karma. So I wasn't sure yet I was feeling a bit, so then they're just newcomers to Krishna consciousness, so I didn't know if that would have been the correct way to put it across to them.
Okay. Anyway, as you like. Engage them, let them do some service. If they're giving something for the service of Krishna, it's good. Very purifying.
Definitely. Thank you, Gurudev. Thank you.
马达吉说，他的学生就问他这个问题，然后这个马达吉他就回答说，如果他是为了服务主、服务至尊性的神手的话，那么就是修的萨吧，否则的话就是好的业报 karma。然后说，那无论如何，反正让他们从事奉爱服务，这对他们的净化是有好处的。
Okay. 还有问题吗？
有 ，yes。这个是萨提的问题。顶拜公 Maharaj， 顶拜所有奉献者。刚讲到比解脱更好的，有时候奉献者会感到 Krishna 在照顾他，安排他的生活中的事情，而佛教徒有时候也通过布施拜佛感受到被照顾。请问 Gurudev， 这两种被照顾的感受有什么区别呢 ？Just now you mentioned that what's better than liberation is that sometimes devotee will feel that Krishna is taking care of him, is arranging his life, but those Buddhists sometimes they donate and they worship Buddha, and they also feel being cared for. So Gurudev, what's the difference between the feeling of taken care of by the Buddhists and devotees?
Well, the difference is that devotee always wants to serve Krishna eternally. But the Buddhist, he wants to become Buddha.
区别是奉献者他们是总想服务 Krishna， 想要永恒的服务 Krishna， 而佛教徒呢，他们是想成佛。
Yes.
The next one.
Yeah.
下一个是 Pasanti Devedasi， 顶拜 Gurudev， 顶拜所有奉献者。Sachi 妈妈是亚修达的一个化身。亚修达被称作宇宙之母。Devaki 跟亚修达是什么关系？Sachi Mata is an incarnation of Yashoda, and Yashoda is called the Mother of Universe. And what's the relationship between Devaki and Yashoda?
Oh, Devaki is on a different level from Yashoda.
Devaki 和 Yashoda 处在不同的层面上。
Yashoda is Krishna's mother in Vrindavan. Devaki is Krishna's mother outside Vrindavan.
Yashoda 是 Krishna 在稳达文的母亲 ，Devaki 是 Krishna 在稳达文之外的母亲。
Just like if you go to Dwarka or Mathura, then Vasudeva and Devaki is there. Devaki is Krishna's mother.
就好像去 Dwarka 或者是 Mathura。那时候呢，你就会发现 Devaki 在那里，她作为 Krishna 的母亲。
But in Vrindavan, Mother Yashoda is Krishna's mother.
但是在稳达文，亚修达是 Krishna 的妈妈。
Mother Yashoda can only see Krishna as her child.
在亚修的妈妈的眼里 ，Krishna 就是她的儿子。
But Devaki, she sees Krishna as God, and she offers prayers to him.
但是 在Devaki 的眼中呢 ，Krishna 是神，他向他供奉祷文。
She saw Krishna at the time of his birth. She saw him in the four-armed form as Lord Narayan.
在 Krishna 诞生的时候呢 ，Devaki 看见的是 Krishna 的四臂的 Narayan 的形体。
So Mother Yashoda's on a much higher position. She's on a higher position than Devaki.
要收的是比 Devaki 处在一个比 Devaki 更高的地位上。
But they're both very pure devotees. They're both very, very advanced devotees.
但是他们两个人全都是纯粹的进步的奉献者。
Okay, yeah.
Continue present Devaki. Nilabara Chakravarti 家族是什么样的家族 ？Nitya Siddha 是生物体是怎么回事 ？She's asking, so what kind of family is Nilambara Chakravarti's family?
What kind of family? The Brahmanas. He's a Brahmana. He was an astrologer. He was the father of Sachimata.
他是一个星象家，他是一个婆罗门，他是 Sachi 妈妈的父亲。
Yeah. Anything else?
She's asking Nitya Siddha 是生物体是怎么回事 ？Nitya Siddha living entity. She's asking about what is the meaning of a Nitya Siddha living entity.
The meaning is that they're eternally liberated souls.
这个含义就是说 ，Nitya Siddha 里面的生物体就是他们都是永恒解脱的灵魂。
They never forget Krishna.
他们从来没有忘记 Krishna。
And sometimes they come here into this world and take part in Krishna's pastimes. They come with Krishna as his devotees.
有的时候，他们来到这个世界上来参加 Krishna 的消时光，他们以奉献者的身份来。
Just like the gopis and the cowherd boys in Krishna's pastimes, they're all Nitya Siddha.
就像在 Krishna 消时光当中的那些牧牛童，那些男孩子，他们都是永恒的解脱的生物。
And Mother Yashoda and Devaki, they're also Nitya Siddha.
亚修的母亲 Devaki 母亲也都是 Nitya Siddha 永恒解脱的生物。
Okay, Hayawenti.
Okay, no more. Oh, we say thank you. I listen to your lotus feet. Thank you for your guidance.
Okay, so we'll stop here today. Thank you very much, Guru Mani Maharaji, and thank Archana, and thank all the devotees for participation, for questions and listening. Hare Krishna, take care, stay healthy. Hope to see you again. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Bhakta
Hare
Vrinda
Krishna,
ki.
Gurudev.
Haribo. Hare Krishna. Haribol.
So sorry, Maharaj. I meant to call Sati.